So yeah, here we are with the second episode now.
This is a very cool kind of stylistic intro.
Yeah. That dancing there was done by David Vandervoort, who's a very talented animator, guy who rocks the house every time.
This is rather, risque here.
Yeah, it's kind of like, meant to kind of represent the vintage porno magazine.
Yes.
It's kind of like, what's happening? And then you're like, oh, he's looking at pornos.
And he paid the price.
He did. That's Catholic upbringing right there. You look at pornos and you must
bleed. That's a Big Daddy Rock kind of thing.
Yeah, it's true. That's kind of like a good, the hot rod car culture thing. It's kind of in our, general thing that we do here. This episode was an episode that I wanted to do. This was one of the ones that I knew I wanted to do from the beginning, which was a race on the subway. It seemed very New York and very, very appropriate to the show. It's good. You could break it up, have an A story, B story, kind of. It's a good thing. Actually, we had almost like an A, B, and C story in this episode. So we kind of broke up the two teams of our kind of like Fruity and Matt, Chaka and Mecca, and also Alex and Jen. That's their own story.
Damn, that was good. That was a nice shot. And this is the episode where I guess I found out what the fuck a B story is.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. If you scroll back a little bit, you'll notice a video hit, which is something that happens on an analog tape when it's been sitting in the closet too long. But, our masters are 5 years old now, so you'll have to forgive that.
Yeah.
Okay? And, have a train race or something.
Yeah. Jen's pretty off model in this shot, but you'll just have to deal with it. You'll notice a color pop at the end of that bikini bra. It's interesting. I haven't been in a retake session for 5 years on this show, and I still remember every single retake we called.
That's sad.
A retake is when the overseas studio gets the shot wrong and you've got to call it for one reason or another. And you can never call enough because no shot is ever up to your uppity artistic interpretation, being some kind of faggoty artist or whatever, as I am, except for the faggoty part. But anyway, they never do it good enough, and it's always their fault and never your fault.
But
that's
sometimes,
a retake.
Yeah.
You got that, kids?
But sometimes, as I found out, it is our fault.
Yeah.
And then that makes you twice as angry.
Yeah, exactly. You look at the sheets and you're like, oh, I guess we said that to them.
Yeah. Or, you know what? We didn't send them the models.
Yeah.
So they had to guess.
Yeah.
Models are you want to explain that too? Because I don't even know what the fuck they are.
Yeah, there's color models.
Look at that. Look how beautiful that is. Look how fucking, of an environment. It's like a living environment there.
Yeah, this is, we did a lot of color models for this show. I was heavily invested in the kind of idea of mood in this show. I knew that, this show was not necessarily about, classically constructed stories.
Not at all.
It was more about the mood and the kind of the character.
Yeah.
So I knew that the mood had to carry the show largely. So we really tried to make the mood work in this show, and did many different color model basically for almost every scene. And if we had gone on to multiple seasons, we probably could have reused some of that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't in the cards.
Yeah. The other thing that was very interesting was for the designs for the show, especially the background designs, we were able to go around and do a lot of photo reference of New York since we lived there.
Yep.
The head of background layout, Don Pointer, actually rode around on his bicycle and took probably hundreds, if not thousands, of photographs of New York City, and we put them in a big book for the layout artists and Xeroxed them for everybody, and they had a ton of reference.
Yeah, as much as Alex or Jen or Shaka, the city was a character.
It's true. It's true. The city was a big character. Dinosaur Dentist, obviously based on Crocodile Dentist. For any of you who,
but we couldn't use.
Couldn't use the actual product on that one. So I think this upcoming fugue is the color model was based on the old Heimlich maneuver posters.
Ah, yes.
The help if you're choking kind of posters. It had the orange, white, and blue background.
The ones that you see in the nasty pizzerias, at 4 o'clock in the morning.
They've now changed that to that kind of fishbone kind of thing, but if you're probably older than 23 or so, you'll remember the orange. Here we go.
Yeah,
These are the ones
break
that
it
are
down.
based on those posters. Yeah, see, he's kind of choking, but he's put an orange under his chin. You see how that works.
This is an example of how socially awkward we were, so we wanted our characters to reflect that.
And this is meant to reflect kind of the 80s, which is when we were kids.
Yeah.
And see her with her 80s fashions.
Yeah.
She's got the capri pants and the kind of
Nice.
the belt and the sweatshirt
Nice.
that's cut and revealing her bra.
Yeah.
That wasn't really in fashion when we were doing the show, but it kind of is coming back now.
Bring it on back, ladies.
Exactly. Bring it on back. We like those shoulders. That guy had a mullet.
Yeah, the mullet.
Yeah. Gotta love the mullet.
The mullet.
I had a mullet in 8th grade.
What an asshole. You look like Don
We
Johnson.
were
in
allowed
8th
to
grade.
say boner.
We said
Good.
boner?
She just said boner.
Motherfucker.
Yeah. That sketchbook drawing of Matt's there was drawn by a guy named Dicko. Well, if you go to dicko.org, has a bunch of weird, incomprehensible cartoons for you to look at.
Now, didn't he take
By
you?
incomprehensible, I say it's a good thing.
Didn't he take you on some wild joyride through Manhattan? Where he
No,
was
through
busting
Brooklyn,
through?
actually,
Yeah,
where we
wrecked his car.
we got super drunk, drank a lot of whiskey, got in his old I don't know what it was. I think Ford Falcon, 60s Ford Falcon. Drove around in a construction site and
This is
crashed
nice.
into a wall.
Yeah.
And totally illegally drove away. But that subway stuff. Our idea was kind of as an homage to that kind of 50s traveling the map. It's Indiana Jones style. You know how Indiana Jones was doing that kind of 1940s adventure thing by following the line as they're traveling the globe. It's we're kind of following the line as we drive across Manhattan. This character was based on a guy named Darren Zoltowski who worked at MTV.
That is true. Good man.
He was a production guy. I'm not sure what his title was. But here's Minus. That tag was actually developed by a graffiti artist known as Sub, who is a world-famous graffiti artist, who the 6th episode of Downtown was largely based on a story he told us. Yeah, these are kind of cheesy pickup lines developed.
Nice design, by the way.
Yeah.
Nice design.
Yeah, developed by the
Oh,
there you go. Look
Oh.
at that. That's crazy looking.
I know that one. Yeah.
Minus. There we go.
Do you believe in fate?
See, she's laughing. He thinks she's laughing at his jokes,
No.
but she's actually laughing at his fucking dumbness.
This is what you call burning down your boy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true. That girl, actually, her design was, a design based upon her design was used later in Megas XLR.
This is true.
Episode number 8, where Jamie is hitting on a chick. It's
That is
the
true.
same chick, or at least a chick largely based upon that chick. And I must say, being an artist on Megas XLR, it's largely based on a general design style and not on a specific copyrighted character, if you get my meaning.
Yeah. So when we putting
I was
Shaka in there,
I was very happy with that Shaka animation, by
Yeah.
the way. I felt really went with her
Now,
character.
there's a shot in this episode that I think will give you a 6-foot boner. At least it does me. I'll point it out when it comes up. Oh, listen to this song now. Listen.
That last one doesn't count towards your total.
See,
I think
she
that-
sang
Yeah.
because my balls he likes to eat.
Yeah. Was that written by Ann Bernstein?
I don't think so. I
Oh,
I
did
could
you
be
write
wrong.
that? Yeah.
But I know we got it past the censors.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was very
it was,
happy.
It was based on the Mr. Bucket song.
Yeah, sing it,
was
sing
like, Mr. Bucket, you put your balls in his mouth. Mr. Bucket, he spits them out of his mouth, or something like that.
And then he spits them right out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that. Anyway, it was something about putting balls in his mouth. And we were like, that's fucking dirty.
We're
So we
putting in the
decided
show
to put it in our show.
for the kids.
For the kids.
The kids
This show
like
is
it.
for the kids.
Yeah,
as you
it
might
always
say.
is for the kids.
This game was based on a game that we had. What the hell was that called? Busy Bees, or Busy Bumblebee.
Uh-huh.
That's that game. And it was a ridiculous game that I tried to get people to play drunk, and they hated to play it with me.
You know how you are. Sometimes you just sort of jump into things. Look, honey, if I didn't take a risk once in a while, we wouldn't even know Matt and Fruity in the first place. So
This is character conflict here.
Dancing
Yeah.
in the fountain in Washington Square Park that day, and looking really hot. With all the guys checking me out.
And see, this is what you call the Rashomon.
Yes,
thing
yes.
is
No
like-
eyeballs, no eyeballs, no
No
eyeballs.
eyeballs. That was
That
dropped by Dave
disturbed me.
Vandervoort.
That disturbed me.
Uh-huh.
Ew, and where'd his friend get that haircut?
Here you go.
Kmart?
And you're gonna see the one point of view of this story. It's this girl's point of view, and then you see the other person's point of view. Rashomon.
Rashomon.
There
Rent
you
it.
go.
It's worth it.
I think
then-
you can get like a DVD set.
You never know.
No.
Some girls start late. But man, I'm in a hurry. Impressive skateboard techniques.
And then watch Battle Royale.
Memory, man. I got another
Busy Bumblebee here.
Yeah.
I got 6 pollen pelts.
Nice spring sound.
Yeah.
I gotta give props to our audio guy, Danny Cacavo. He was
Word.
probably the best audio guy I've ever worked with.
Actually, I'd like to go further and say he was the most dedicated member of the crew.
It's true. It's true. Danny Cacavo, salute.
Salute.
Yeah, we're drinking our booze now. To you.
Did I tell you about the other day when I was on a D going downtown?
This is a real story here.
Pushing through.
This happened to you or someone else?
This happened to someone else.
Yeah. Actually, many of the stories in downtown are
It's
actually
true.
real.
Actually,
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm saying this is a real story, because
Yeah.
most, if not all, actually I think all
Yeah.
of the stories are real stories.
And
if
many
they-
of the awkward moments are real
Yeah.
too. Like
Awkward
lusting
moments
after
are
goth
damn
chicks.
real.
Yeah.
This is a call that I think I actually made a bad call on. We had a temp track in for this like crazy bum where he had an eloquent voice. And I went back and said, that eloquent voice isn't working. We've got to put in like a weird voice. And we put in the weird voice, and yeah, I think it worked against the comedy. So I'll have to say that the original take on this is something I'm sorry that I didn't stick with. So sometimes you young animation guys,
Oh, that's the shot that gives me a hard on.
yeah,
There you go.
right on. There
Yeah,
you go.
that's the
Through the
shot.
barrel of the gun.
Nice.
I'll say, young animators, sometimes go with your first instinct and don't second guess yourself.
No one gives a fuck.
Look at that shot. I love
That's
that
beautiful.
painting.
Look at that.
Yeah, painted by Beatrice Ramos there, laid out by Antonio Canobio.
Who,
I don't
who
know
works
how I
with us to
remember
this
these
day.
things.
Yeah, Antonio actually works with
Antonio
us today.
Canobio, that
we
French
ruined his life.
bastard.
We ruined his life. He was working on Teenage Mutant Ninja
Yeah,
Turtles.
he was like fucking
had
every
a-
chick in existence
he had a
in
hot
New York
chick.
City.
He had a
And
hot
we're like,
chick.
hey, come on out
Yeah.
to LA. We'll ruin your life.
It'll be great. He came out, lost his chick.
Oh, see this scene here?
Oh,
This scene here?
yes.
This is why we did this episode. Because
This happened.
I
You
would
s-
watch-
You saw this. This happened to you.
it's true.
Say it.
It's true.
Nice.
The chicks, they love to moon. You see it across the... Oh, and then there you go.
Now, did they moon you?
No, they didn't moon me.
Did you moon them? Oh, look at that. Aspirin.
Oh. And here we are, back with the
R
R
line.
train. There we go. Look at that. It's to the music. Kimson Albert, by the way, did the music.
Props out.
Yeah. Rockin' tracks. Rockin' tracks.
Thing with guys is, all right,
Really felt
they're
it.
gonna walk all over you if you don't, like,
Look at that.
stand for yourself. You know?
Even when you're wrong.
Are you
Why
kidding
can't we
me,
have
bro?
this? I'm sorry. I digress.
No,
Back to
it's,
look at that. That's foreground. Mecca's in the foreground.
It's
there.
a beautiful
Yeah.
show. It's a beautiful show. You could watch the show with the volume turned off and just fucking whack away
Look
for
at
half
that.
an
She
hour.
knows what she has.
What does she have?
She has control over men.
She does.
Yeah.
Now, didn't you say that those actual girls were super wild? Like you had trouble with them in the
Jesus
booth?
Christ, man. Those girls were insane. But in a good way. I mean, kind of in a good way. They would go crazy. Sometimes they hated each other. Sometimes they loved each other. I mean, they were 16-year-old girls. They had the personality of 16-year-old girls. I remember sometimes they'd give each other direction, which never went over well.
Oh, hey! You know what that is, man. Word!
George still has this
I
game.
do. I love to play this game. And you bastards love to come over drunk and laugh about it and play for an hour.
And break it.
Yes. I bought another one. Fuck you.
Oh, now I'm seeing the real Jen. The sneaky
I was always very happy with this upcoming sequence.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was very trippy and
Yes.
like actually like kind of like the medium of animation was used to its fullest extent, or whatever the fuck kind of uppity shit that you want to call this. You know, it's like, hey, you see, it's not just talking heads.
Yeah,
and
no, this is
crazy
what-
tripped
yeah.
out shit.
You
Why
can-
don't you kids? I'll tell you what. Stop the DVD now.
Yeah.
Go smoke some drugs, and then like start it up again and watch this,
And,
you'll
draw-
really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Again, laid out and assistant directed by Dave Vandervoort. Did all the poses. Great guy.
How about a round of tiny
I
tadpoles?
believe this episode was directed by Ilya Skorupski. Also incredible animator. That shot always bothered me. Matt's hat's too big on that.
Yeah, that's all right, though.
Damn.
Oh,
Great. That really adds
Chaka and
to the
Mecha are in that cab. That's the kind of like
Mm-hmm.
little known fact that we always like speculated about. They're in the cab. They've cheated.
They are
They're
cheating right
cheaters. They're dirty cheaters.
Yep. That looks like your neighborhood in, where was it?
Williamsburg?
Williamsburg.
Yeah. This looks very much like a Brooklyn neighborhood. If you've ever been to Brooklyn, you'll say this is a Brooklyn neighborhood.
Yeah, and what's
Which is
that?
very different from a Manhattan neighborhood.
What was that shit we used to get on the way home to your place at the Italian place? What was it, a pizza roll? No, what was it?
Chicken
Sausage
roll.
What?
Chicken roll.
Chicken. Oh, now this. This was on the
is a
cover,
disco.
dude.
This was on the cover. This images from this sequence were on the cover of Animation Magazine.
Yep.
If you give a shit. Animation Magazine for all you kids.
No one reads it.
Yeah. No one knows about it, but I'll tell you what, at least it gives you props with other fat dorks in the industry.
That's true.
Yeah. Animation Magazine. I'll tell you what, Animation Magazine has really rocked it in recent years. They've gotten, like, way better, and I can dig them. Animation Magazine, hooray! I like this acting. Some good character acting.
Yeah.
Come on, it's only 20 more blocks. Let's run. Let's bounce, cowboy.
Let's bounce, cowboy. That was definitely an ad lib.
Yeah, that's all right.
You think we're gonna write that shit?
No, we don't know that shit, man.
Die rolls doubles the way you can. Over and over.
Well, you know I saved that for you, right?
I know. It was.
This is some kind of like sexual connotation
Yeah.
and shit.
Well,
here.
it's like the female and the male best friends who,
Yeah.
you know.
Uncle Wiggly.
He would bang that shit if it wasn't fat,
Oh my
right?
God.
I think. All right. Anyway, look at that. That's like those like 70s Bigfoot footprints. Oh, this layout was a 40 field, and I'll tell you what, they never got it right, and we used the take 1 on that shot, even though we requested I think up to take 4s on that.
They got it worse and
Which
worse.
you don't know what that means unless you're in animation, but I'll tell you what, it means they redid the shot over and over and never got it right, and probably hated us. And you'll see that Darren Zoltowski character is actually in this scene, which he wasn't meant to be, but we were hoping you guys would not notice it.
Yes.
So there you go. Look at them. They're so embarrassed.
I should have waxed.
I think this was a scene that we actually redid all the backgrounds for. We got the scene back.
Mm-hmm.
Backgrounds didn't work. Sent all new backgrounds overseas and made them redo the entire sequence because it didn't work. So now it works. I hope. I don't know.
It works to me.
Yeah. But wait, man, if you had seen the original backgrounds, you would have puked. I wonder what Darren Zoltowski's up to now. By the way, that design looks exactly like him.
No, it doesn't.
Feet.
You don't even have a mind in your head. What does he say? It's great. There you go.
See, that's the kind of sexy shot.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wait.
The disco bump.
Disco bump.
Oh, are you waiting for it? It's about to come up here. You can't wait to see it.
Oh, Artinian. That's our boys.
Yeah?
Uh-huh.
Liz Artinian, Edward Artinian's sister.
Uh-huh.
For those of you who know the infamous Edward Artinian.
Infamous.
There it is.
The bump.
Nice!